Hi all, this is Nidhi here. Hope you all are doing good. So today we are going to start a new topic, that is theory of supply. What is supply? So you say that whatever good is sold in the market, that is supply. But this is not the complete answer. So let's elaborate more and understand the exact meaning of supply. In demand chapter, we have understand the consumer demands goods and services. Why? In order to satisfy their wants. So who produces these goods and services? Producers produces goods and services in order to sell in the market. So we are considering here that producer is producing a single commodity, that is sugar. Clear? Let's understand with the example. So sugar is a commodity which the producer is willing to sell in the market. Clear? Now tell me, does the producer produce only single quantity of a commodity? Does he produce? So he produces various quantities. That means if I go in the market, I can get 50 grams of sugar, I can get 500 grams, or I can get 1 kg, 5 kg and so on. So I can get various quantities of a commodity, that is sugar, at various prices also, because different quantities has the different prices. 50 grams, suppose if I am getting in rupees 20, can I get 500 grams in rupees 20? No. So different quantities has different prices. Suppose 40, 1 kg 80 and this is 200. So that means what? A single commodity has various quantities at different possible prices which the producer is willing to sell at particular point of time. That there is a time period where the producer wants to sell this product at a different prices. So this is supply. Supply means the producers are offering in the market at different prices at a given period of time. That is only the supply. So supply always, children, depends on the price. Supply depends on price. See how? Suppose I am producing this marker pen. So when I am producing this marker pen, so it is related with the price, as I know that this marker pen has the higher price in the market. So if it has the higher price, then that means what? Producer will get the higher profit. He will produce more. That means production will be more. Higher the price, higher will be the production, higher will be the profit of a producer. So he will increase the production of this one marker pen. So that means what? There is a positive relation between price and supply. In demand chapter, we have learned that there is an inverse relationship between price and demand. That means price rises, demand falls, price falls, demand rises. Is not it? If you remember the demand chapter, but in supply chapter, there is a positive relation between the price and supply. If price rises, my supply will also rise. Why? Because producer is getting the higher price for this pen. So price is more, my supply will be more for the pen and my profit will also be more. Is not it? So there is a positive relation. If price is less, supply will also be less and profit will also be less. So there I can say that supply depends on the price. Higher the price, higher the production, higher will be the profit of a producer. Lesser the price, lesser the production and lesser will be the profit of a producer. So supply always depends on the price. Now children, here the word, now you see the definition. Supply refers to the various quantities. So these are the quantities. That means suppose if the price of X commodity I am taking, price is increasing from 10, 20, 30. Now quantity supplied also increasing 100, 200, 300. That means what? I can say that it refers to the various quantities. These are the quantities of a commodity. Sugar I can take. That producers, here the word producers are there. That means there are number of producers who are selling the product. There is not only one producer. There are variety of producers, variety of quantities. So producers are willing to sell. Here it is not the actual sell he is doing. Only he is offering in the market. He is willing to sell at different possible prices. This is the price. At different prices he is offering at a given period of time. Clear children? Now there is the word concept is stock. So producer produces the good, but He does not want to sell at a particular point of time. Now you will say that why he does not want to sell at because he is doing the production, so why he does not want to sell? Yes, he does not want to sell. It is sounding weird, but it is true that sometimes what happens, producer does not want to sell the product at a particular point of time. Might be he thinks that in the near future the price will be high of a product, so he keep it in the stock. That means, for example, suppose I am a producer, I am producing 30 marker pens. So 30 is the total production which I have done, so it is the stock. 30 marker pens I have produced and I have kept it in my godown, clear, as a stock. Now out of 30, I have displayed only 20 in my shop. That means I am offering 20 marker pens I have offered for sale. That means this is my supply. Out of 20, only 10 marker pens I have sold. 10 marker pens I have sold. So this is my sale. Clear? So this is the difference between stock and supply. Stock is the bigger concept, supply is the small concept, and sale is the smaller concept. Clear? So that means 30 which I have produced is the stock with me, and only I thought of offering 20 marker pens in the shop. There is my shop and I offered only 20 pens to the market. So that means 20 is my supply. I am just willing to sell in the market. I did not supply till yet. So only I am willing to sell. So 20 pens I am willing to sell in the market, and out of 20, suppose if I sold 10 pens, that means it is the sale. So 10 pen is my sale. So there is a difference between stock and the sale. Clear, children? So this is the supply. Supply, two definitions you can say. First definition, if I ask what is supply, you can say that there is a positive relationship between the price and the supply. Or second definition, you can say that it refers to the various quantities of a commodity that the producers are willing to sell at different possible prices at a given period of time. Clear, children? Willing means producers are offering to the market just to sell the product. He did not sell. Clear? But he is willing to sell. Only sell when it will be out of 30, when 20 he is supplying, that means 20 marker pens he is means he is offering, and out of 20, 10 pens are sold, that is only sale. So this is the concept of the supply. That means it refers to the various quantities. Clear, children? At different prices that the producers are willing to sell at a point of time. So this is supply. I hope it is clear. Please note it down, this definition. So now we will understand the term quantity supplied. Quantity supplied means that how much quantity of a good, a seller wants to sell at a particular price at a given period of time, that is quantity supplied. Suppose a seller wants to sell 100 units of X commodity at a particular price of rupees 10. So this is what I can say, it is the quantity supplied. So it refers to the specific quantity. I can say that this is the specific quantity which the seller wants to sell. 200 units he wants to sell. Now at which price? So at a specific price he wants to sell. Specific price is rupees 20. So this is the quantity supplied. That means it refers to the specific quantity of the commodity is sold by the producer at a specific price. So these are the specific quantity which the producers wants to sell at a specific price. So this is the quantity supplied. So now, children, we will understand the other term, that is supply schedule. Children, whenever the schedule word comes, it means that we are showing in the table manner. That means schedule word comes, it means we are showing in a tabular form. That means in a table form. So this is the table you can see. So it is showing in the tabular form. Supply means that how much specific quantity a producer is selling at a specific price, that is supply. Now children, always remember that schedule is a table which shows the relationship between the price and supply. That means if price increases, supply also increases. If price decreases, supply also decreases. So we can say that it is a table showing different quantities. So these are the different quantities that a producer is willing to sell at different prices during a given period of time. That is only the supply schedule. So you have to write this word a table. Table which shows the relationship between price and supply. Clear, children? So there is a positive relationship between price and supply, because see here, when price increases from rupees 10 to 20, my supply is also increasing from 100 to 200. Price increases, so that means the profit of the producer is also increasing. So if profit is increasing, he will increase more production. So for that reason, he will increase the supply. So from price is increasing from 10 to 20, my supply is also increasing from 100 to 200. So this is the supply schedule. Now supply schedule is also of two types, that is individual supply schedule and second is the market supply schedule. So if I talk about schedule means we know that is the showing in a tabular form. That means it is in the showing in a table form. Clear? And supply means specific quantity which a producer is willing to sell. So a producer. Individual means here we are talking about a one producer. That means a producer. Individual means single producer or a single seller, you can say. So a producer. Same thing you have to write, a producer showing different quantities. Here we are taking this. This is only the individual supply schedule. That means I am taking the supply of one producer. So it is a table showing different quantities of a commodity that a firm, you see here that a firm is willing to sell at different prices during a given period of time. That is only the individual supply schedule. Coming to the market supply schedule, I told that it is, we will show in the table form. Clear? Market means that it is more than one producer. That means here we can consider all the producer. Market means all the producer. So we can see here market supply schedule, we can see that it is a table showing what? Showing the total supply. If I add one more seller here, suppose this, I have added one more seller, so this becomes the market supply. So up to this it is the individual seller, individual supply schedule, and if I add one more seller, that means it becomes the market supply schedule. So now if I say that at 10 rupees, producer is willing to sell 50 quantities, at 20 rupees producer is willing to sell 100 quantities. So that means what I can say, that market supply schedule can be obtained by adding up the supplies of, all the individual firms. So if I add this, I will get the market supply. That means S1 plus S2, and you can add here, I have assumed only two sellers because market means there are many producers are selling the product. So here I am assuming I cannot take many sellers or many producers I cannot take. So I am taking the sellers of two, S1, S2. So if I join this, that means if I add this, I will get the market supply schedule. So you can take more than two sellers, you can take seller 3, 4, 5 up to n number of. So we can say that how to obtain market supply schedule. Market supply schedule can be obtained by adding up the supplies of all the individual firms at different possible prices during a given period of time. So 100 plus 50 is 150. This is the market supply by adding up, what I said, by adding up all the supplies of the individual firm at different possible prices. See, at rupees 10, seller 1 is willing to sell 100 units. At rupees 10, seller 2 is ready to sell at 50 units. So this is the seller 1 quantity which is willing to sell, and this is the price of the seller 2 which is selling the quantity, specific quantity at specific price. So this is the market supply schedule. So I hope it is clear. Now if you add this 200 plus 100, it is 300. Here I am writing 300. Clear? So this is the market supply schedule. Market means more than one producer. So here we can consider all the producers here, but as we are assuming here that there are only two sellers in the market supply schedule, so what we are doing here, that we can find out the supply of individual seller by adding up the quantities of individual firm at different possible prices during a given period of time. So we can find out the total supply of good by adding up this one. Clear? This is the market supply schedule. I hope it is clear. I will give the this one also meaning also. First you write it so that I can move further. So you can see the definition. Supply schedule are of two types that I said. I have explained also. Now I am explaining here with the help of the definition. You can see individual supply schedule, market supply schedule. Individual means one producer that I explained. So when we represent single firm or a single producer or a single seller, we say individual supply schedule, who is willingness to sell different quantities of a commodity. That means single commodity he is willing to sell at different prices at during a given period of time. That means different quantities he is selling. That I said here. Here is the price I have taken and here is the quantity. So he is willing to sell different quantities at different. This is the different quantities he is selling at different possible prices during a given period of time. That we say individual supply schedule. Market supply schedule, it is a table. So this is also a table which I am showing. Schedule means only the table. So we have to use the word table here. So it is a table showing the positive. You can also say one, this is the definition. Other definition you can use, it is a table showing the relationship between price and supply. That means it is a relationship showing, it is a table which shows the positive relationship between price and supply. Market supply schedule also, there are many producers. Market means there are more than one producer. So it is also the table. Schedule means the table which shows the relationship between the price and the quantity supplied by all the producers. So it is a table showing the total supply. Here I have, suppose this is the seller 1. This is the seller 1. So if I add one more seller, so what I said, this becomes the market supply schedule. It is in a table form, I can show it, and I am showing the relationship between price and the quantity supplied. So it is a table showing the total supply. So if I add this, I will get the market supply. Obviously, if I add seller 1 and seller 2, this one supply, so I will get the market supply schedule. So it is the table. This is the table showing the total supply. So total supply is how much? 100 plus 50 is 150. This is the total supply of a good by all the individual firms. So these are the individual firms. So if I add up, I will get the market supply 200 plus 100, it is 300. So this is clear up to it. So if I add the total supply of a good by all the individual firm at a different prices, these are the prices at different prices during a given period of time, that we say the market supply schedule. So this is the supply schedule definition. So now children, we will understand the other term, that is supply curve. So we have learnt just now the supply schedule. That means we are showing in a table form the relationship between price and supply. Now the same supply schedule we will show it in the diagrammatic presentation, that is the supply curve. Supply curve is a diagrammatic presentation, or you can say graphical presentation of a supply schedule. So this was my schedule. This was my schedule, children. Now the same schedule I will plot it in the diagram. Clear? So same schedule I will plot it in the diagram, that is only the supply curve. Supply curve is also of two types, individual supply curve and market supply curve. So I can say that supply curve is a diagrammatic presentation of a individual firm. Individual means of a one producer I am talking. So same table I will plot it here. See? This will be the individual supply curve. That means diagrammatic presentation of an individual supply curve. Here it is the individual supply curve. I am taking here the supply. Here is the price. Price 10, 20. Now you see here I am taking the supply. Now you see when price is rupees 10, supply of seller 1 is 100 units. So here is 10 and here is 100. So I can join these points. When price is 20, that means price rises from 10 to 20. So here I can see my price rises. So when price rises, my supply of the quantity is also increasing from 100 to 200. So here is the 200 and here is the 20. So if I join this, I will get. So what I can see that when price rises, quantity supplied also rises. That means it also increases. So it's the positive relationship between the price and quantity supplied. So if I join this, I will get the supply curve. Clear? So this is the supply curve of an individual seller. Clear? Now, market supply curve, I said supply curve is a diagrammatic presentation. So same table I will just plot it. Here I will add one more seller as because market supply means more than one seller. That means all the producers I am talking about. So here I am taking only one more producer. Clear? So that means at rupees 10 he is willing to sell 50 quantities, at rupees 20 he is willing to sell 100 quantities. So if I add the total supply, so if I add the supply of all the sellers, so I will get the market supply. So 100 plus 50 is 150, 200 plus 100 is 300. By adding up the supply of all the sellers, that means by adding up the supply of all the individual firm, I will get the market supply schedule at different possible prices. So now I will plot this market supply. Here I am plotting. So here I am taking the price same. Here I am taking the supply. This is the market supply. Now you see price is same 10, 20. Now quantities I can see 150, 300. So here I am taking, don't take this one, you take the market supply. So don't need to plot this and this, only the price and market supply. So I can see here 150, 100, 200, 300. Now you see at price rupees 10, market supply is 150. So price rupees 10, 150 will come here in the mid. So at rupees 10, market supply is 150. At rupees 20, market supply is 300. So here is 300. Now if you join this, you will get, sorry I am very bad in drawing, so you do it properly. It will go from the, this one. So here is the SS. So this is the market supply curve. So what I can see here, that this curve is the market supply curve and it is flatter. It is flat and it is steep. This curve is steep. Steep means that it is upward sloping, that it is standing upward. So it is steep and it is bending down. So that means it is flat. Why it is steep and why it is flat, the question might be asked in the board. So is the supply schedule curve, individual supply and market supply curve both are same? No, because individual supply curve is steep and market supply curve is flat. Why? The reason is that you see the proportionate change in market supply is of, see the difference between is 150 and here the difference is of 100. You see, difference is of 100. So what I can see that if the difference will be more, the curve will be more flatter. So here the proportional difference is 150. So that is why it is more than this individual. The difference is more than the individual. So that means what? Market supply curve is flatter. That means it is bending down and it is steep because the difference is less. Difference is less as compared to the market supply. So that was, it is a means standing upwards. Steep means standing upwards. So it is steep. Clear children? This is the individual supply curve and the market supply curve. So now children, we will discuss the determinants of supply, that is the factors affecting supply. What are the factors that affect supply? Supply increases or decreases so due to various reasons. So these are the factors which I am going to discuss. No need to mud it up, only see what I am explaining. It's very easy. First point is the own price of a commodity. That means own price also affects the supply. How you see? There is a direct relationship. I said that there is a direct relationship between the price and the supply. If price increases, supply also increases. If price falls, supply will also fall. So I can see that there is a direct relationship. So own price of a commodity also affects the supply. Clear children? Second point is price of related goods. Related goods I have explained in the demand chapter children. One is the substitute goods and other is the, I am writing in the short form, complementary goods. In substitute goods, here I can take the example of tea and coffee. In complementary goods, I can take the example of ink and pen. So, in case of substitute goods, tea and coffee, you can take anything, Limca, Coke and Pepsi, anything you can take. But here I am taking the example of tea and coffee to explain you in a more better way. Tea, see, what happens, I have to think as a viewpoint of a producer. I am a producer. If the price of tea is high, tell me what will happen. If price of tea is high, I will increase the production because I'm getting the higher profit now. My price is high. So I will increase the production. So supply will increase. Clear? Supply of tea will also increase. Now the supply of coffee will decrease as because I will not produce more coffee because price of tea is higher. So I will increase the supply of tea. Price of coffee same, but my supply of tea is high as because price is high and coffee supply is less. You can see that how it affects. Here complementary good, you see ink and pen. You can take it as the example of car and petrol. Complementary goods means both are jointly used. Substitute goods means you can use in one place of another. So complementary goods, I told that you can use jointly. So without ink, pen is worthless. So both at the same time we have to see. You see this is the marker pen. So here it is the inside it is the ink. Suppose the price of ink of the marker pen, ink I am talking about, inside it the ink is there. Suppose the price of ink is high. So when price of ink is high, I will increase the production so that my supply will also increase. Clear? What happens? As the price of ink is high, supply is also increases. Side by side, my pen supply I have also increases because both are jointly used. If the price of ink is high, supply will increase, so that pen is also, supply of pen will also increase because both are jointly used. Clear, children? So this also affects somehow the supply of the related goods. Number 3 is the number of firms in the industry. Number of firms means, children, that means if there are more firms, many firms are there in the market. Suppose 6 firms are already existed and 2 firms joined in the market. So that means more firms, more supply, more production. If suppose vice versa, if there are less firms, suppose 6 firms were already existed, 2 firms exit, that means 2 firms are not there now. Now 4 firms are operating. So that means less firm, less supply, less production. So more firms, more supply, less firms, less supply. Goal of the firm. Now children, we will talk about the goal of the firm. Suppose I am a producer. So I have some goal, is not it? So goal, I can suppose the goal of my firm is to increase sale or to maximize sale, I can say. If I want to maximize sale, that means I have to increase the production. So my production increases, my supply also increases, is not it? This is the thing. Side by side, if I think that my goal is not sale, my goal is to earn maximum profit. I am a producer, so I want to earn more profit. I want to earn maximum profit. So what happens when profit is higher? That means what? Price is higher. Price is high, so profit is high. So when price is high, demand is less. When demand is less, what happens? Production is less, supply is also less. That means if price is higher, demand falls, production falls, and side by side supply falls. So this is the thing, goal of the firm also affects the supply. Is not it? Coming to the 5th point, price of the factors of production. Price of the factors of production, children. Factors of production are land, labor, capital and entrepreneurship. Is not it? In land we have to pay rent, labor we have to pay wages, capital interest and entrepreneurship profit. Suppose I am thinking I am a producer, so I need to take all these factors of production for doing the production. Suppose the wages of the labor is high, they are asking for the high wages, and my rent of the building is also high. So in that case, what happens? Interest is also high on the capital which I have borrowed. Entrepreneur is also asking for the more profit. So everything, when I am seeing that it is increasing, wages is also high, rent is also high, everything is increasing. So my cost of production that times, what happen? Is high. When my cost of production is high, what as a producer, I will think that cost per unit is becoming high. So I will reduce the production. My production falls. My supply of a commodity also falls. Vice versa, if I think that wages of the labor is less, that means they are asking for the less wages. Rent is also less. Interest on capital is also less. and profit is also less of the entrepreneur. So when everything is less, my cost of production, what happened that time? Falls. When cost of production falls, what happened? Producer will earn more profit, so that time production will increase and supply will also increase. Clear? This is the situation. Sixth is the state of technology. So children, we use, basically there are two technologies. That means two technologies are not there, but there are two types of. One is the improvement, that is updated technology, you can say, updated technology, and other is the obsolete technology. So updated, if you suppose you are a producer, so if you use the updated version of the technology, then cost per unit will decrease. Cost per unit will decrease and labor can work more in the better technology. So that means what? If you use the updated version, improvement of the technology will be more. Cost per unit, that means cost of production will fall. Cost of production will fall. My production will increase. My supply of the commodity will also increase if I use the updated version. But if I use the old version, obsolete means the old version, or a wear and tear, that means it is old version of the technology. If I use that old version, so my cost per unit will increase, as because I am using the old technology. So what happens? My cost of the production per unit will increase. So when cost increases, that means production falls and supply also falls. This also affects the supply. Seventh is the government policy. So basically we can see, so government policy, government raises the tax and sometimes gives the subsidy also. Clear? So government policy, we can see that government raises the tax. When sometimes government raises the tax, suppose I can take the example of cigarettes. So cigarette is a harmful commodity. So what happens when the producer produces this harmful commodity? Tax government, sometimes what happens? Tax increases. So when tax government raises high, that time what happens? My production, I will not increase the production, as because my profit is low, I have to give the more part of the income to the government. So what happens at that case? My profit is low, so my production will fall and my supply will also fall when government raises the taxes. Clear? Suppose when government gives the subsidy, that means rebate. Suppose I am the producer, so I am thinking to produce the, I am thinking to opening the company in the rural areas. That means the backward region where the rural people live. So when the government see that the producer is giving the opportunity, working opportunity, everything he is giving, so he thinks of giving the rebate. Government thinks of giving the rebate in sometimes the water, sometimes the electricity. So at that point my profit will be high, because I have to give the lesser part of the income to the government, because he is giving the subsidy, is giving the rebate to us. So that portion, my cost of production will, what happened? My cost of production will, what you say only here, when the government is giving us the rebate, my half part of the income is not going. That means I am giving the less part of income to the government. So my cost of production will, what happen? Will rise, and my cost of production will rise, and what happen? When cost of production will be, cost of production will be less. So when cost of production will be less, my production will be more and supply will be more. This is the government policy. That means if government wants to raise tax, he raises tax and the producer has to give the more part of the income to the government. So what? He increases, his profit is lower, production is lower, supply is lower. And when government gives the subsidy, cost of production is less, at that time production is high and the supply is also high. So these are the determinants of the supply. So till yet we will complete this here, and again the supply chapter we will continue in our next session. Thank you.